Stay in rhythm, keep it consistent, let's go. What agency issues CDL licenses in Georgia? Georgia Department of Driver Services DDS. This is the official licensing authority. Let's continue. What is the minimum age for interstate CDL driving in Georgia? 21 years old. Required for crossing state lines. Next question. What is the minimum age for intrastate CDL driving in Georgia? 18 years old. Applies within the state only. Let's move on. What combination weight requires a Class A CDL in Georgia? Combination vehicles over 26,000 pounds where the towed unit exceeds 10,000 pounds. This defines Class A. Continuing. What vehicles require a Class B CDL in Georgia? Single vehicles over 26,000 pounds or towing a unit not exceeding 10,000 pounds. Large single vehicles. Next point. What vehicles require a Class C CDL in Georgia? Vehicles under 26,001 pounds carrying hazmat or designed for 16 or more passengers including the driver. Special categories. Let's continue. How long is a Georgia Commercial Learner's Permit CLP valid? 180 days, renewable once for another 180 days. Time is limited. Next question. What supervision is required when driving with a Georgia CLP? A CDL holder with proper class and endorsements must sit in the front passenger seat. Supervision is mandatory. Let's move on. What vision standard is required for a Georgia CDL? 20/40 in each eye with or without correction and at least 70 degrees peripheral vision. Vision ensures safety. Continuing. How often must a Georgia CDL holder renew their medical certificate? Every 2 years unless a condition requires more frequent review. Stay medically qualified. Next point. What blood pressure level qualifies for a full 2-year medical certificate? 140/90 or below. Within acceptable range. Let's continue. What happens to a Georgia CDL if the medical certificate expires? The CDL is downgraded until a valid certificate is on file. Keep it current. Next question. What condition disqualifies a driver from a medical certificate in Georgia? Epilepsy not controlled by medication and insulin-dependent diabetes in most cases. Medical safety matters. Let's move on. What is the minimum tread depth on front steering axle tires for a CMV in Georgia? 4/32 of an inch. Front tires need more grip. Continuing. What is the minimum tread depth on all other CMV tires in Georgia? 2/32 of an inch. Check regularly. Next point. What is the maximum single axle weight on Georgia highways? 20,340 pounds. Follow weight limits. Let's continue. What is the maximum tandem axle weight on Georgia highways? 34,000 pounds. Standard tandem limit. Next question. What is the maximum gross vehicle weight on Georgia interstates without a permit? 80,000 pounds. Federal standard applies. Let's move on. What Georgia-specific rule applies to oversize or overweight loads? Oversize and overweight loads require a Georgia permit and must comply with route time of travel and escort vehicle requirements. Permits are required. Continuing. What are the 3 parts of total stopping distance? Perception distance, reaction distance, and braking distance. All 3 are critical. Next point. At 55 miles per hour, how far does a loaded truck travel before stopping? About 390 feet under ideal conditions. That is a long stopping distance. Let's continue. What is the reaction distance at 55 miles per hour? About 60 feet in the 1 second it takes to react. Reaction time counts. Next question. What following distance applies under normal conditions? 1 second per 10 feet of vehicle length plus 1 second over 40 miles per hour. Maintain space. Let's move on. What following distance adjustment is needed in bad weather? Double the normal following distance. Increase safety margin. Continuing. What speed reduction is recommended on wet roads? Reduce by 1/3. Less traction available. Next point. What speed reduction applies on packed snow? Reduce by 1/2. Drive carefully. Let's continue. What speed reduction is needed on ice? Reduce by 2/3 or more. Extreme caution required. Next question. What is hydroplaning and how should a driver respond? Loss of tire contact with road due to water. Ease off the accelerator without hard braking. Stay controlled. Let's move on. What causes brake fade and how is it prevented? Overheated brakes from continuous downgrade use prevented by low gear and controlled braking. Use engine braking. Continuing. What technique prevents brake fade on Georgia downgrades? Select a low gear before the descent and apply brakes in firm controlled intervals. Prepare ahead. Next point. What gear should be selected before a steep downgrade? Same gear needed to climb the same grade. Key safety rule. Let's continue. What is an escape ramp and when should it be used? A specially built ramp to stop runaway vehicles used without hesitation if speed cannot be controlled. Use it if needed. Next question. What is off-tracking in large vehicles? Rear wheels following a shorter arc than front wheels in a turn. Important in turns. Let's move on. What is the danger of off-tracking in a right turn? Rear wheels may jump the curb or strike objects that appear clear. Watch your rear wheels. Continuing. What is jackknifing and what causes it? Trailer folding against the tractor from locked trailer wheels during hard braking. Very dangerous. Next point. How is jackknifing prevented? Avoid sudden hard braking on slippery surfaces and brake smoothly. Smooth control is key. Let's continue. What is trailer sway and how is it corrected? Side-to-side movement from speed, wind, or uneven loading corrected by easing off the accelerator. Do not overreact. Next question. What is the tug test when coupling a tractor-trailer? Engaging low gear and gently pulling against the locked kingpin to confirm fifth wheel engagement. Always verify connection. Let's move on. What is the correct coupling sequence? Position tractor align kingpin connect airlines raise landing gear perform tug test and inspect. Follow steps carefully. Continuing. What is the correct uncoupling order? Lower landing gear apply trailer brakes disconnect airlines and electrical chock wheels then extract tractor. Order matters. Next point. What are the glad hands on a combination vehicle? Connectors joining service and emergency airlines between tractor and trailer. Essential connections. Let's continue. What happens if the emergency airline disconnects while moving? Trailer brakes apply automatically. Safety mechanism. Next question. What is the trailer hand valve used for? Testing trailer brakes only never while driving as it causes jackknifing. Do not misuse it. Let's move on. What is the normal air pressure range in a CMV brake system? 100 to 125 psi. Maintain pressure. Continuing. At what pressure does the low air warning activate? 60 psi. Warning threshold. Next point. What is the air loss rate limit with brakes released? No more than 3 psi per minute. Check for leaks. Let's continue. What is the air loss rate with brakes applied for a combination vehicle? No more than 6 psi per minute. Still limited. Next question. What are spring brakes in a CMV? Emergency and parking brakes held by air that apply automatically when pressure drops below roughly 20 to 45 psi. Fail-safe system. Let's move on. What brake check is done during the pre-trip inspection? Build air to governor cutoff test warning at 60 psi. Verify parking brake and inspect all brake components. Inspection is critical. Final question. What are the steps of the CDL pre-trip inspection? Overview engine compartment cab interior lights front walk around and signal check. Be thorough every time. Keep practicing like this and your recall will stay sharp.